Yo, what's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Drop Podcast, the podcast where we play games, hang out. I'm thinking about dropping my episodes down in 30 minutes, so I'm gonna try that today. And then I think what I'll do is I'll just do the 30 minutes, and then if I feel like going longer, I'll go an extra 15 or something like that. I don't know. It's like if I feel like going longer, then I'll go longer until I get bored. So that way, instead of it being like always 45 minutes, I'll do 30 minutes. And then if it gets bad by the end of that 30 minutes, then I'll cut it. And then if it's good by the 30 minutes, I'll just keep going until, so that way I'm not upheld to that extra 15 minutes. Rather, the extra 15 minutes are bonus if it's good, you know? Oh man, that incense starting to burn my eyes. I like to lock myself in a shoot. Put myself in a trap. I like to. All right, check it out. All right, so I record these in my closet. I'm not gay, so screw you. But I like the feeling of like the incense whenever it burns my eyes. Almost like I'm hotboxing incense in my closet, you know. Dude, Japanese snacks were the move. So we saw this place. I think it was called like Toka in Kansas City. And they had like Japanese. They had this Japanese drink that I got. It was like, some type of melon. I think it was like what are they called? It's not honeydew. It was honeydew. It was so good. It was like a honeydew soda. I got noodles. Dude, I need to know the name of this. I'm gonna go back whenever my cousin's here. I'm gonna go back to that place. What is it called? I'm gonna go back whenever my cousin's here. I want to go back to Kansas City. And then go back to some of those places. I also had this place called like High Point. No, not High Point. High Boy Burger. Honestly, it was good. It was like a big patty, like big thick patty, like almost probably like the size of my hand spread out. It was pretty good. Probably not like the best. Like it's a flat burger, but it's like really really big. The fries they sucked though. But yeah, I mean Kansas City is a spot. Like Kansas City was cool as heck, and like I was saying, like it reminds me of like what I would think of old St. Louis. You know what I mean? Like it felt alive. It felt more alive. Like honestly, it kind of reminded me of California. Like one of the things I loved about California is it was alive. Like there was stuff going on, things were happening, and you know it makes you feel like you're like a part of this community. I guess there's like that you're. I don't know, like it just makes you feel good whenever you see things happening around you. You know what I mean? Like it's hard to put my finger on it, but you know, I loved it. I absolutely loved it. And I was telling my parents, whenever I went to California, I was there and I was like, oh man, this is amazing. Like, I just love what this is. You know, like this just. It inspires me so much, and I would love to be here. You know, like I don't want to leave this place. And I did. I went back home, and I was sad about it. And then I kept, and then like a few months later, we went to Ohio. And in Ohio, I was like, oh my gosh, I'd love it here. This is amazing. And then it was like, oh, wait a second. I was saying the same thing about California. Like, this really isn't truly that different. Like, this is basically the same. Like I'm saying the same thing about two completely different places. And so that's whenever it hit me. I was like, I just love to travel. Like I just love to see things and experience things. You know, like it truly has nothing to do with like California. However, I do want more sun. Like I think if I was to go somewhere permanently, I definitely would choose somewhere more south. Like yeah, like somewhere with some sun. I'm watching this anime called Michiko and Hachin. which is about this I think it's Brazilian. I think that's where it takes place. But either way, like, it's just really cool because it's like it's very sunny and it's very I don't know, it's beautiful, you know. Like it looks like this like southern like New Mexico or or Arizona is nice too, but like I don't know, like it has like that energy to it, you know what I mean? But I want to see something like that. Like that's how I think Mexico would be like, you know what I mean? It's alive, you know. It's alive in a different type of way, you know. But one thing I want to see really bad is I want to go down to Texas. For real, I might move to Texas when I'm older. Either that or Japan. I don't know, like probably southern Japan where there's some nice southern Japan where there's some nice what am I trying to say? Beaches and stuff like that. One thing I gotta say, I used to think Japanese, or I used to think like Asian women were really pretty, back when I was a kid. I think I'm starting to, now I'm more into like the Southern American, like Middle Eastern, like olive skin, you know. But I like the olive skin, but I like South American culture more. Like I just find it more energetic, more free, you know. Whereas like I feel like it's younger, you know what I mean? Like that's how I see it. Like it's just very more alive and spirited. Whereas like Middle Eastern culture seems to me more like wise, you know what I mean? And I don't want wise, like I want crazy, you know what I mean? You get what I'm saying? Like I want dancing, you know. I feel like it's more just like trained, I don't know, like more disciplined, I'll say, which is good at times, you know what I mean? Like, and that's how I feel about Japanese culture too. Like it's much more disciplined, probably like the most disciplined out of many other places. But I don't know. Man, my eyes are starting to burn. But yeah, man, I probably need to. I need to think of in this game. So in Pokemon, if you never played Pokemon, it's like you build a team, right? I think I need to start thinking about that team. I do kind of want a dragon, but I might just not have that. Anyway, let's keep looking. What else do I have on my list? So I've started making a list. So instead of like me just getting on and talking, I like to, like, one thing that I did today was I recorded the episode before this, and so I started off with a topic and a subject that I wanted to talk about. But as I went on, like as I kept going, it developed into a different topic, right? And so then I had all this energy, and I actually wanted to talk about this topic, but I gotta be for real, I don't remember what we were talking about. I know I said I was gonna talk about it last episode, but now I can't remember. But anyway, so so what I do is I bring that energy of like, because there's like an excitement, you know what I mean? Like whenever I get into a subject, like I just have like this energy, and so, but it's like I bring that energy into the what am I trying? Into the conversation, into the next conversation. So it's like, yeah, so like I started this episode high energy, like excited with lots of stuff, and I was going, like I said, I was gonna talk about what I was talking about last time. So then that way it's like I start off the next episode with that chain of conversation that was kind of leading last episode. which I actually did forget. But either way, like then I started the next episode high energy, and then with something to talk about. And then whenever like I feel like getting dull, it's like I have this list that I can pull from. So it's like there's always something to like talk about. You know what I mean? And this list is just like thoughts that I had like at random moments. Like I'll just be thinking about something. I'm like, that's kind of what I want. Excuse me, that's something that I think would be good to talk about. You know, because it's like my head gets like filled with these like ideas and then like I'll be thinking about it. And it was like, wait, let's write this down. So it's like every single idea now I write it down. And one thing I've noticed is like I feel like there's more. Well, I actually don't think there's more. Rather, I think it's more that that it's like I just realize them now because it's like I make them important now. So it's like not that I have more ideas, but it's like they matter more to me now. So I realize them more often. You know what I mean? But yeah. So and that's something that I definitely think it has been important to my process and also like the evolution of this podcast. Like last season, hold on. Well, all right. So if we're gonna go through the seasons, hold on. Let me just pull up my podcast real quick. So if we're gonna go through the seasons, just to observe, I will say one thing that I'm glad about Pokemon is that like I never have to be like really focused, like because it waits for me. You know what I mean? All right, so the drop, like I could sit here forever. You know what I mean? The Drop Podcast, podcast. Yeah. All right, we're loading. So obviously, like the first season, there's a podcast ahead of me. Huh. This must be new. 3 emerging black men providing raw and unique perspectives on society's most controversial topics. This actually sounds interesting. Yeah, so this looks like new. They use the same name as me. Whatever. The Drop Podcast episode 12. Now you see us. Interesting. So I'm gonna go ahead and download that actually for real. So yeah, I guess there's a new The Drop Podcast. I'm the One by Joshua Timothy Bryan. You can see my face on it. And I've had 5 seasons so far. This is the 6th. So almost 100 episodes. That was my goal at the very beginning. I have some unknown seasons I need to fix. I need to fix that. All right, so let's just go through. So Pokemon Fire Red, that was my which season? That was my first season. Obviously the thing that I was working on in my first season was truly everything. Like the audio was bad. So I was trying to figure out that. The energy was bad. I didn't really know like how to, like it was just awkward, you know what I mean? So I was just like developing that. And so I feel like I was trying to figure out what the Drop Podcast is. And so then eventually became like I was just trying to figure out like the system of it, you know what I mean? And how I'm going to do this. So yeah, I guess that was just like the trial season for real. And I was so I was like figuring out like what is the topic? Like is the topic specifically focused on my path, or is, you know, and then eventually it developed into like I just talk about whatever, you know what I mean, just like ideas that I have. And then Minish Cap, 2nd season. Minish Cap, yeah, so that's kind of whenever I think I started to okay, that's not right. But anyway, so that's whenever I started to kind of develop into to more. I think I don't know if I had the mic by this point, but I think in the middle of the season I added the professional mic. So anyway, but at this point, like I was trying to figure out like my voice quality, like the actual like quality of the episode and the setup of it and everything. And also I think I started to develop like, well, one, I was really interested in like relationships and like psychology at that point, so I was just talking a lot about that. And also my music was being released at that time, and my real estate journey. So I mean, I was just talking about whatever. So I think like by that point, like I was still kind of focused on this whole like idea of like my journey towards like some direction, where I think now it's a much more casual thing, you know what I mean? Like by this point, it's a lot more just like whatever I feel like talking about, I talk about, you know what I mean? Like I feel like it's definitely taken that turn. Man, my eyes are burning. It's good though, I like it. Yeah, so I was just talking about that. And then I think by the end of that episode, then I started, or that season, then I got into The Legacy of Goku, which is this one. I think I really kind of figured out, like, okay, this podcast is just conversation. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just talking about whatever. So it's just like, it's relaxed. You know what I mean? It's chill. And I want to enjoy the experience. Yeah. And then I think I also like the audio was better, so then I figured out like my system more. Like I had the intro song and stuff like that. But I was still messing around with like, okay, like how do I make the episode? You know what I mean? How I structure it. And then I had season 4, Kirby, Nightmare in Dreamland, which this I learned that you can't just play whatever game. Like it's like if you play too distracting of a game, the episode is hard to do. That's what I learned from that one. So that way I learned like what games I'm comfortable with, you know what I mean? Like me, just like stuff about me personally. And then season 5, this was probably my best season so far. But in this season, I think I learned that to make a really like the best possible, like the best quality season, or the best quality episodes, it's important that I have something, not necessarily like a structure to it, but I have like notes, you know what I mean? Like something to take from, something that I can pick off of. And that will really, really help the quality of the episode. Yeah. So yeah, that's what I learned from that. Yeah, overall just and then this season I think is gonna be my best one yet. So this season, you know, with my changes of the structure of the episodes, now 30 minutes, and then by the end of the 30 minutes it'll be just kind of like whatever, you know what I mean? Like if I feel like keep going. So I think that'll help the episodes be better, because I'm not just forcing it, you know what I mean, for the last 15 minutes whenever the conversation kind of dies down. Rather, like I'm letting it live, and I feel like that 30-minute mark is usually as long as it's good for the most part, and then it's like the extra 15 is just like extra credit, you know what I mean? Like if I keep going, I keep going. It's like if I want to keep going, I'll keep going. You know what I mean? But like I think 45 minutes is good, like it's just as far as like I don't want to go too much over that, you know what I mean? Oh man, my eyes burning. But speaking on soon my cousin will be here, so that'll kind of be a whole new experience to switch up the podcast, and that way it'll be casual too, but it'll be I think I'll add another layer to it, or just like another like exploration, you know what I mean? Like just something to see, you know, like how does it go if I have someone there, like a Joe Rogan style podcast, you know what I mean? Joe Rogan, but still the drop, you know what I mean? And I wanna be precise. Like it's not How About You. How About You is way, way different. Like How About You's purpose is way, way different. I think for How About You, what I want it to be is more so what am I trying to say? I want How About You to be a podcast like specifically geared towards like tools, you know what I mean? Tools that you can use. Speaking of, I'm gonna get back to that podcast as soon as I begin to dive in more into things, more into like travel, because I think one thing that would be really cool to get different perspectives and experiences is whenever I start traveling the US, then it'll be like I'll pick up podcast episodes here and there just from like people I know. So yeah, one thing that I really need to work on is like my network, which I think it's hard right now because I'm in a position where we don't for real, like it's still COVID, so it's like we can't necessarily like do a lot. Oh shoot, speaking on. But one thing that's been really good is for me at least, one thing that's been really good is what's that website? Meetups.com. Meetups.com I think is gonna be my networking, because I was thinking about because I was watching TV. I was watching like Hulu. I was watching anime. Whenever I was in Kansas City, I was watching anime pretty much every night. And on Hulu, they would have like ads, and one of like the cheesiest ads that I hated, but gave me an idea, was these eHarmony ads. Like they're just so cheesy, because like everyone's like, I'm looking for love. That's why I choose eHarmony. And then they would smile like I don't know. It's just so ugly. But but it gave me this it made me think like what, like I know a lot of people in high school that would look on those dating apps, and for real they only did it to talk to people. So it's like, which is sad because it's like which is sad because you're at a high school, you know what I mean? Like this should be the place where you meet, but it just shows like how afraid people are, because it's easy because you're on the phone, you know what I mean? It's easy because you're going to a place where two parties know that they're trying to meet each other, you know what I mean? So it's like this person wants to meet you, this other person wants to meet you, so it's much more intimate. So I think one thing that we need to work on is being more intimate with each other, you know what I mean? Stop being afraid to be vulnerable, because like that's what you're doing with these things. It's like you're sticking out your neck on eHarmony, but at the same time so is the other person, so it's like it makes it not as scary because you're both showing your weak sides. Like I want to be in some type of relationship type of deal, you know what I mean? But like a lot of people just use it just to meet people for real, like just make relationships. And I was thinking about that. I was like, well, I don't want to use eHarmony, because then at the same time, like some people are going on there for love, you know what I mean? Like they're going there because they genuinely want to find someone that they can connect with. And I would feel guilty doing like networking using that. So I was thinking about it. I was like, okay, well, what if I made something for like entrepreneurs? And then I was like, well, I guess that's kind of what LinkedIn is. Although I don't think LinkedIn works very well that way. And I was like, wait a second, that's meetups.com. I was like, shoot, that's meetups.com for me. Like that's where I go to meet people in real estate. I want to look at like art. Like I want to find people that are in the Sumier. You know what I mean? But I couldn't whenever I did look. So that's one thing. But I don't know. Hold on. Excuse me. Sorry. I the smoke is like filling my nostrils and is burning, making my nose runny. I like it though. Like I like this feeling. I actually feel like it's making me relax more. Because one thing that I notice in myself is like my vocal cords get tight. Like it's like it becomes hard to talk very well sometimes. Cause yeah, like my vocal cords, like it's like they tighten up and like they squeeze, and then it's like, and then like my voice gets like higher pitched. Like I don't know if other people notice it, but I feel it. You know what I mean? And I hear it personally, but I know like, I know I sound different to me than how other people hear me. Like I always thought I had like a very nasally voice. You know what I mean? Which I think you can hear very well in my music, but I think as far as the podcast, like whenever I listen to it, like it doesn't sound that nasally. But yeah. But yeah, so it's like my eHarmony or like my networking thing is meetups.com. Like that's where I think, because I was telling you guys last time, like I'm kind of struggling with this whole thing. Like I want to travel and I feel like that's what I have to do. But then there's like the other part where it's like, well, at some point, am I gonna want a family? Like, is that what's important? You know what I mean? Because I kind of feel like that's like what's more important than having a kid? You know what I mean? Like, what matters more besides just like prolonging human life? You know what I mean? And also love. It's like I don't think you could love anything else more than you can love your own genetics. You know what I mean? Like I don't know. Like that's a weird way to look at it, but it's like and it makes sense because like if you want to prolong you in your line, it's like because we're sexually motivated to reproduce, right? So it's like see here's why I take this angle. You know, a lot of people are like, oh, you should be a good person just to be a good person. But to me, it's like, well, it doesn't truly matter. So it's like there has to be more to it. You know what I mean? Like Joe Rogan, he was interviewed with someone and they were making an excuse like why you should like give or whatever. And then Joe Rogan was basically like, well, shouldn't you just give because you want to give? And the guy was like, well, yeah. But it's like, then you could ask, it's like, okay, well, like, who cares? You know what I mean? Like, why does that matter? Like, besides just to be a good person, it's like, why care about giving? You know what I mean? So, I mean, there does have to be another reason. You know what I mean? Like a self-motivating reason. And also, I don't trust people who are too altruistic. Like, I just don't. Because it's like, if it doesn't affect you personally, to me, it just seems like you're being a goody. You know what I mean? Like I don't know, for lack of better terms, like I feel like you're just being like a goody. Like people who care too much about the earth, dude. If you're political, if it becomes a political thing, I don't trust you. You know what I mean? If it's like a science thing and you're like, or like even if you're just like an explorer and you just like to travel the world and you're seeing firsthand what certain things are doing, and you can tell because those people are genuinely angry at the fact that it's like there's this thing that they're exploring and seeing, and we're just like tearing it down. We don't even care. It's like because they see something that we don't. You know what I mean? But for most people, it's just a way to be a good person. Like it's just a way to flex your what is it called? Value. What is it? Your value. I mean, like you're like shaming people. It's like I'm better than you because I care about whatever. It's what is it? Value flexing. It's like whenever you post something on online, or it's like all those people that did Blackout Tuesday for BLM. It's like you're literally doing nothing. It's like you post a black picture on Instagram so that everyone else knows that you think it's good. You know, to let everyone know that you support Black Lives Matter. But who cares? You know what I mean? It's like if you support them, why do you need to let everybody know? And by the way, you don't. You don't support them. See, because to support them, you do something for it. You know what I mean? If you see, and that's just not voting. It's like, well, I guess it could be. Maybe that's not fair. It could be voting. All right, so I'll give you that one. But still, it's like I don't know. I feel like it's just like, and I'm not one of those guys where it's like what you're doing isn't enough. Like no. But don't pretend like, well, I don't know, because now I'm saying is like, well, if you want to post a black picture, it's like whatever, you know what I mean? But it's like, I don't know. I think the fact that you are expressing yourself on social media is kind of weird. It's like, I don't know. It's like if I travel a lot, and to support the fact that I like to travel, or that I think we should travel, I post like a picture of I don't know, man. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. Now I think about it. Because if I like to travel and I don't know, like I guess like maybe like I just want to express to everybody that you should take care of the earth so that these beautiful things still stay. And so I keep taking pictures of like the beautiful earth. It's like I'm showing you what I'm seeing. It's like, look at this. Like this is what I care about. Like this is what you're destroying. So I guess like that could be something. I don't know, or like a reason. I don't know. But I don't know, like you can tell a difference. Like I guess I can't describe it with words, but you can tell. You can tell people who just put stuff out there because they want to be seen as the good guy, versus people who genuinely have some passion or reason. You know what I mean? Like there's a big difference. Yeah, that's a lot. But as a general thing to say, maybe I shouldn't attack people for posting or for a Blackout Tuesday, because I guess it's really not that. I guess it's not that bad. I guess it is kind of saying something. It's like letting the world know. It's like, yeah, like this is what we care about, so I'm gonna see something happen. You know what I mean? Like it's letting your politicians know, I guess. I feel like that's what it is, but I guess here's the thing. I feel like people don't do it for that reason. It's like you can, and I guess that's where you can tell the difference. Like, is this person doing this because, like there's they see value in it, or are they doing it because all their friends at high school are doing it and they want to fit in? You know what I mean? Like they want to be seen as the good guy, You know what I'm saying? Like, I just think it's different. You know what I mean? Also, can we talk about, like... never mind. I don't know. I don't know if I for real want to go down that road. Well, I don't know. I guess I kind of do. One thing that kind of bothered me about this whole situation is it was, like, there was so much peace. You know what I mean? I worked at Starbucks, which is very, like, liberal company, and there was just so much peace between everybody. It was like I was white and I'm from Florissant, so a lot of people are black, and it was like, but it didn't matter. Like it just was what it was. Like I didn't even think about it, you know what I mean, until this happened. Like we were all cool until this happened. Then all of a sudden it was like everyone was saying like, this is what we live with every single day. It was like, no, this is what you live with. Like this is what you think you live with every single day, because right now the media is putting it in your face a whole lot. You know what I mean? Like it's different. It's not like I don't know. It was just like all of a sudden it was like the world is against these people. You know what I mean? But it's like, well, what about this past like year since like the last police shooting? You know what I mean? Like what about that? You know what I mean? Like you had no idea because you don't live in that. You know what I mean? Like that's the difference. It's like people want to take it's like people want to be a part of the team. It's so weird. It's like that's like me. I don't know, man. Like it's hard to explain. Like I don't even know like the right thing to say. That would be like I'm Irish, and I know in Ireland, Britain, Ireland, the British and Irish, they have beef because the British. I don't really know the history, but it's like the British came in and were kind of like a-holes, I guess, like mess. I don't know. Like I'm probably saying a lot less than what it was. Like I'm sure it was really bad, and you could talk to that Irish person about it. Which I, but like I have Irish in my blood, but it's like that'd be like if I'm getting mad, or choosing to be mad. Well, maybe not. It's a little bit different. It'd be like, shoot. Well, how do I say it? I don't know. It'd be like, how do I say this? It's like if something happens to Irish people from the British, and then I get mad at the British because I'm Irish, and I say, see, this is what we Irish people have to deal with because of you. Like, no, I don't live in that. I live all the way here in the United States. For example, all these people live in Florissant. They don't live in St. Louis City. You know what I mean? There's a big difference. You don't deal with the same thing that they deal with. You know what I mean? It's a whole, like, but it's like, because these people are black, it's like you feel like you are also entitled to that suffering. It's like, no. There's a difference between middle class, and lower class. Like, there is a big difference between middle class black people and lower class black people. Same with white people. Like there's trailer trash in my family from Illinois. It's like they deal with different things and different treatment from people than what I do, and so I can't take credit for that, or I can't take credit for suffering from whatever systemic whatever that, you know what I mean? Like, there's a big difference. So it's just like, I don't know, like, that's an important thing to make a distinction on, I feel, and that's something that I don't think, like, I don't know, man. And I guess part of it is, like, I'm just upset because it was like we were all friends, like we were all cool, and then all of a sudden it's like white versus black. You know what I mean? All of a sudden it's like I'm the enemy and I have to suck all their, you know what I mean? I have to get on my knees for them and say sorry. And it's like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I mean, that's just how I feel, I guess. And it's like I'm not sympathetic. Like, I know that you know, lower class, like there are things, you know what I mean, that are worth conversation. It's like in the world is set up in a way where it's like if you are more wealthy, or if you have enough money to live in wealthier areas, there are benefits to living in those wealthier areas, like more businesses, more money being put into schools, and like there are benefits to that. And so it does make it difficult, because it's like if I make more money and schools are run on the taxes of property tax, it's like property tax is going to be higher in more wealthy areas where there's more two-story homes. And so it's like, yeah, so like obviously there's going to be like you, like, as a person in that middle class area or wherever you are in a more wealthier area, you're going to have better schools because there's more property tax to it. You know what I mean? And then also at the same time, it's like these people who live in like slums, they have smaller homes. Less taxes are going to schools, worse schools, not as money going to education, worse teachers, not getting paid enough. And so yeah, it's true. Your school is probably you know, it's not going to be as good, and so that is going to affect your community. You know what I mean? But it's hard. It's a hard situation because yeah, like while that's true, and I do think that is a good case. Like that's what my girlfriend loves to bring up to me, and I think it's a good case. But at the same time, it's like, well, you want people to, like, you want incentive for people to make money, you know, for people to grow their finances. So it's difficult because, like, yeah, like I see the rotation that people are talking about. You know what I mean? I see the quote unquote system that they're talking about. Although I don't think it's like targeted to make people lower. You know what I mean? I don't think it's like a white people want to heal their egos and make sure that they're above at least somebody. I don't think it's that. I think it's just, you know, if you make more money, you want to incentivize people to make more money. So communities that have more money rotating in them have better things. So I mean, it's hard. And then as far as business goes, obviously businesses are going to go where there's more money to be made. You know what I mean? So that's the other thing. So I don't know, man. It's just hard. It's like I don't know. Like, because it either seems like the government gets involved in everything, and so we just have the government everywhere making everything equally distributed, and then you lose opportunity, or it's like you give opportunity, you allow the incentive for whatever, but then you do kind of have this like rotation of, okay, so it's like they have better things, but at the same time, I guess you could say this, it's like, well, do they have better things because they actually have better things, or they have better things in comparison? I mean, do they actually have more, or is it more because you're comparing it to less? Or I guess what I'm trying to say is like, are those lower class people, do they actually have less because of this? Like, are they being given less, or is it because there's this relationship that you can see where it's like they make less in comparison with the larger community, but really if you took away that upper class, they would just make even amount, like they would just even out. I don't know. Well, you get what I'm saying? I don't know. I feel like I'm not saying that very well. But yeah, I don't know. It makes sense. It makes sense in my head at least. Or it's like I'm trying to figure out how to say this better. It's like I don't have an apple, and then someone walks into the room and they do have an apple. Now I'm upset because they do have an apple, and I feel like I am I feel like I have less because they have an apple. But before I knew that they even had an apple, I didn't think I had less. I just thought I was what I was. I just thought it was equal. You know what I mean? But then at the same time, like, I also get though, like, if less money is going into your schools, like, you probably have not as good schools. So I don't know. I mean, I don't know. For real, like, I'm just thinking about it. I don't know, man. I don't know what the solutions are. I don't know if there is a solution. I don't know. I do kind of feel like there has to be some personal responsibility involved, like a culture of self-responsibility. But like I said, like I like one of the things. Oh man. One thing that I hate the most is whenever people talk like, oh, like I have the solution. So like I don't want to pretend like I have the solution. And for real, like I'm open to like experiments. You know what I mean? Like I think it'd be cool to see Andrew Yang do the universal basic income, like the $100 or $1,000 a month. Like I think it'd be cool. And I'd be like, I don't for real think it's a good idea, but I would not be opposed to trying it. You know what I mean? I would not be opposed to testing it. You know what I mean? Like, how do you know if you never test? You know what I mean? And what if there's some way that we can make it work? Like, we have all these stimulus checks going out right now. You know what I mean? Like, we're spending so much. I mean, so it's like, it's not that we can't. You know what I mean? It's like we can. It's like that's what this whole experience has made me learn. It's like, no, like we there's a lot of money that we could be spending, because that was a big thing before. It was like, well, what about the debt? You know what I mean? One, the debt isn't bad. A lot of people use that as an argument, but debt is not bad. At least like the U.S. debt isn't bad. It's like investing in like I would compare it rather to investing into like a home, or like buying CODs. It's an investment that they're making to us. You know what I mean? In a way. I think it's an easy argument. Like, it's one of those slap down arguments that people use, without really addressing, the details of it. You know what I mean? It's just easy to say, like, and then there's so much to go into that it's like, even if you did want to go into the details of like, oh, you know what I mean? The U.S. debt actually isn't a bad thing. I mean, right now it is, because it's not truly going anywhere, but keeping us alive, which I guess is a good thing. I guess it depends on your goal. Like, are you trying to raise your economy, or are you trying to keep people alive? So if you're trying to keep people alive, which is a good thing right now, then yeah, that's a good thing that we have that stimulus check. But if you're trying to raise the economy, then like that might not be good, or it might be good. I don't know. Like, universal basic income could be really good. I don't know. Man, well, it's getting late. Trying to decide, should I do another? For I could, like, that'd be 6 p.m. All right, well, I'm gonna do another episode, last episode, for today. So with that all being said, if you guys want to help support the podcast, one thing that you can do is, go to my website, joshuatbryan.com, And then if you scroll all the way down, there's a section where you can donate. 100% up to you. I would definitely appreciate it. But like I said, 100% up to you, for real. And anyway, but I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. And that being said, the best way that you can help support this podcast is for real just by like listening and leaving a review on wherever you listen at. With that all being said, I will see you guys next time. See ya.